Here's your wrestling news for September 5th, 2022, and we're kicking off today with WWE Worlds Collide, which saw the superstars of NXT and NXT UK face off for brand supremacy. Going into the show, one of the most hotly debated bouts pit NXT Women's Champion Mandy Rose against NXT UK Women's Champion Meiko Satomura, as well as Blair Davenport in a title unification match. Rose and Satomura had held their titles for over 700 combined days going into the show, so a lot was riding on the winner of the bout. The crowd was hot throughout the match, but the finish saw Rose hit Kissed by a Rose on both her opponents before pinning Davenport to get the win. Rose made history by unifying the NXT and NXT UK women's titles, as it appears that WWE has no plans on shifting their focus away from her or Toxic Attraction. As for what the plans are for the group, that's unclear, as while Gigi Dolan and JC Jane were used on SmackDown a few weeks back, a concussion suffered by Dolan forced them to be pulled from the WWE Women's Tag Title Tournament. We may not know exactly what the future holds, but Toxic Attraction remained dominant, with Rose's reign on top now at 314 days and counting. Last night, AEW hosted All Out, which saw Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks become the first AEW Trios Tag Team Champions. For the match, the Cleaner got Justin Roberts to hype up his arrival by announcing his accomplishments, one of which referenced a certain two-time WWE Hall of Famer. During his entrance, Omega was praised as Kevin Nash's favorite wrestler, a nod to a recent tweet where the former WWF champion said just that. Nash's praise for Omega didn't come for the latter's work rate, but rather because he's the arch-rival of Will Ospreay, who Nash recently dragged over his merchandise sales. After tweeting about Ospreay's merch numbers, the UK star fought back, poking fun at Nash's torn quad injury during a 2002 episode of Raw. Nevertheless, it was cool to hear Big Daddy Cool be referenced on an AEW pay-per-view, and perhaps there will be a day when Nash makes an in-person appearance for Tony Khan. During the All Out kickoff show, the AAA World Mixed Tag titles were on the line, as Sammy Guevara and Ty Mello were challenged by Ruby Soho and Ortiz. Soho and Ortiz would come up short in their efforts to win the title, but that wasn't even the worst of it for Ruby Soho. Sean Ross Sapp behind Fightful's paywall reported that the former WWE superstar suffered a broken nose during the match. Soho took several rough hits by Mello in the match and apparently broke her nose after Mello hit her with a knee to the face. Soho was hurt during her match, but it was also reported that another talent was banged up going into All Out, though it's unclear who that is exactly. Ruby Soho knows the risks of being a wrestler and has put her body on the line for years, and we're wishing her a speedy recovery. Back to WWE, as Clash at the Castle had an incredibly passionate live crowd in Cardiff, Wales, but one fan decided to try and ruin things. After the main event between Drew McIntyre and Roman Reigns for the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship, the Scottish Warrior and Tyson Fury had a bit of a sing-along, with fans being shown singing as well. During one of the songs, one fan in the crowd was shown wearing a Better Dad Than Chris Benoit shirt. This incredibly tasteless shirt is, of course, in reference to the disgraced wrestler who murdered his wife and son before taking his own life in 2007. As if this shirt weren't bad enough, a report from a fan said that after the show, the person in the shirt was trying to get photos with others as if he were some kind of celebrity. So far, WWE hasn't edited out any part of Clash at the Castle's broadcast, though we wouldn't be surprised if the company implements further checks on fans before they enter arenas. In the 15 years since the Benoit tragedy, WWE has tried to distance themselves from the former world champion, and this fan put a sour note to end what had been a fantastic premium live event. Last month, Patrick Clark, aka Velveteen Dream, was once again in the news, this time for multiple arrests. Clark was arrested twice, once for possession of drug paraphernalia, as well as a first-degree battery and trespassing charge, and now has another controversy to his name. Speaking to Sportskeeda, EC3 said he isn't surprised to hear that Clark has been arrested again, and made a huge accusation against the former NXT superstar. "It was at my place, and he came over because I'm being friendly, and I'm a top guy, and I tried to welcome everybody into the thing. He left his phone in my bathroom with the camera on, trying to capture people taking." EC3 said that the phone was propped up with the front-facing camera recording, and in perfect position to see someone's genitals when they were going to urinate. EC3 added that after discovering the phone, he made sure that the PP video of my wee-wee was deleted and sent the party guests home. A former NXT superstar himself, EC3 said he didn't confront Clark at the time, not wanting to make a scene, but did later tell some of the people who had been at the party. EC3 went on to say that with how late it was into the evening, he's not sure how many wrestlers were filmed, but that Clark was seen retrieving the phone from the bathroom. Former WCW, ECW, and WWE personality Missy Hyatt had her own unique reaction to the claims, saying that the one thing people should avoid doing is using Velveteen Dream's bathroom. This is just the latest controversy for Patrick Clark, who even during his time with WWE was serenaded with chants of Fire Velveteen Dream after the allegations of his alleged misconduct with minors. While Clark has remained hopeful for a return to WWE one day, his recent arrests have severely harmed the chances of that, and while we should stress that this is only EC3's side of the story, don't ever expect Velveteen Dream back in a WWE ring. The Joker who won the Casino ladder match at AEW All Out was indeed MJF. After CM Punk defeated Jon Moxley to reclaim the AEW World Championship, the lights went out and a voicemail from AEW President Tony Khan played. In the audio clip, Khan could be heard saying that he was willing to swallow a bitter pill for the sake of the AEW fans, paying an undisclosed amount of money to feature MJF in the Casino ladder match. Thereafter, MJF appeared on stage and unmasked himself, as seen in the video clip. MJF then flipped off the crowd as AEW All Out went off the air. He will receive a future shot at Punk's world title by virtue of winning the Casino ladder match. It appears that MJF will now be a part of a stable led by Stokely Hathaway, also including W. Morrissey, The Gun Club, Lee Moriarty, and Ethan Page, the men who collected cards from Hathaway over the past few weeks. Hathaway also used to manage MJF as part of a group called the Dream Team for indie wrestling promotion Beyond Wrestling. MJF had been away from AEW TV since his pipe bomb on June 1st. During that show, he had an off-air confrontation with Punk, which seemed to have been a setup for a future rematch between Punk and MJF. How did you like AEW's current booking of MJF? Sound off in the comments below. Samoa Joe shocked fans when he appeared during the closing moments of ROH Supercard of Honor. Joe successfully defended his ROH World Television Championship against Jay Lethal at Death Before Dishonor. He then took some time off from television. Tonight, he made his return to AEW. Samoa Joe appeared after FTR and Wardlow's match against Jay Lethal in the Motor City Machine Guns. The Samoan Submission Machine appeared in time to even the odds against the heels. Joe was cut from the forehead as he tried to make the save for the faces. Miro wants a piece of Samoa Joe as well. Fans can hope for a match to happen now that Joe is once again back in AEW. Or from WWE, Clash at the Castle, as during the main event, Drew McIntyre had a hero's welcome from the crowd in the UK. A video featuring McIntyre's Broken Dreams theme song highlighted Drew's career up until that moment, which was something that fans had been wanting to hear for a long time. Broken Dreams, which McIntyre used for his first WWE run, has remained popular with fans over a decade after he last used it, and while speaking to BT Sport, the Scottish Warrior discussed the song. "I've been pushing it for a very long time. I didn't think they'd finally bite, but I had a conversation with Hunter and Kevin Dunn. I tried to explain that I think this is the time with the crowd we are going to have. This is a knowledgeable crowd, they know my history, it's very much a full circle moment for me, and I feel that is very much a part of my story. I knew it would get a pop from the live crowd, I knew people online would get a kick out of it, but for me, hearing that, it reminded me of how far I've come." McIntyre didn't become undisputed WWE Universal Champion in Cardiff, but he has vowed to be champion again. So we can't help but wonder when he will get his crowning moment with a live audience. And we're ending today with some gaming news, as fans have been eager to get their hands on the upcoming AEW Fight Forever video game, which is rumored to be released this year. In recent weeks, details have been coming out about the new game, which will certainly have plenty of weapons at your disposal. In a new press release, it was confirmed that over 40 weapons will be available in the game, as well as several match stipulations. With AEW's investment in their gaming department surpassing $10 million, a lot is riding on Fight Forever, but Kenny Omega and his crew are determined to make it a success. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, Thanks for watching.